Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Valentine II. It's the Tier 4 Soviet premium light tank. It's located on the north spawn of Ruinberg, and this one is under the command of Red Dog Alpha 1. Now, there are bots in this game, as you can probably identify from the team lists, that everything with a colon in front and behind the name is a bot. But the others are not. Game on. Well, an awful lot of these tanks were sent to the Soviet Union after the Barbarossa and after they were invaded. They actually received 3,782 Valentine IIs, and they were actually 2,394 came from Britain and 1,388 came from Canada across the Bering Straits and that area, Vladivostok. Now, what's so special about this? Well, the Valentine II is basically the same hull that you'll find on the Bishop. Exactly the same, but of course it's had the turret removed and a howitzer put in there instead, 25-pounder howitzer, and also a superstructure built around it. Now, what else can I tell you? Well, the gun is a 45mm F95 gun. That's a Soviet gun, but that's because the Soviets had plenty of ammunition which they could use for that gun, and they didn't have much of the 40mm ammunition that the original tank was made with. So they decided to switch the ammo, the 2-pounder ammunition, and use the 45mm. Now, this tank actually did see action at the Battle of Moscow. Yes, it arrived early enough to help the Soviets repel the Germans from the gates of Moscow. And they really got close to the center of Moscow. I can tell you because I've been to Moscow and several times, and I know how close they got. It was very, very close indeed. And if they'd actually pushed a little bit harder, I think they might have been able to make it to the Kremlin. Anyway, what else can I tell you about the Valentine II? Well, as I said, they actually produced 8,000 Valentines in total, but only 3,782 of the Valentine II. It was actually an infantry tank. It was designed to drive at the same speed as the infantry would walk and keep up with them so that they could then take advantage of pushes. So they weren't designed to go really fast and exploit the ground. They actually were destined to, oh, we've got somebody up our rear, and he didn't last very long. Now, I think we can use him as armor now. So they were actually designed to keep up with the troops, and they were quite helpful because the T-34 and the KV-2 were much faster than the Soviet troops could run. And so it actually helped to have a tank which they could keep up with and use as cover as it slowly advanced towards the enemy. They could hide behind it and stay alive, whereas if they tried to run behind the T-34 or the KV-2, they'd more than likely die because those tanks would run ahead of them and then there'd be no cover. You can see he's actually having quite a lot of luck here so far. He's just under 1,000 hit points of damage. And a lot of these guys are bots. They're the ones who are, some of the ones who are hitting him. Say that M8A1 over there, I think that is a bot, that guy. We can usually tell by looking at the name. Well, actually, that was a real player. And now that guy is not a bot. He's got a real name as well. Now, this is on the NA server, by the way. And the reason I know that is because, of course, most players who do play on the Australian New Zealand server, which is where Red Dog Alpha 1 comes from, actually have moved to NA server instead, because it's not fun playing with a server where the people don't speak your language and who don't play particularly well and are not team players at all. Okay, he's got the rear of that guy, got him on fire, and there's a kill shot. Now this T86 medium is going to get torn to shreds. It's a fairly fast fire rate on this tank. He's got 2.1 seconds on the reload, and then he's got the kill. The standard reload is 2.19, so he hasn't had to reduce it that much, but it's very effective at taking down enemy tanks. Now, unfortunately, behind him, up here in the village, most of these tanks have taken over the ground, but you can see a few of them are bots. So we can see directly up above there that Carney, that's a bot. The Valentine's a bot. The M5 Stuart is not a bot. And there's an M1542 just over the way, that's a bot. Okay, so he's lost sight of these guys now. But this is a tough little tank. In fact, the main weak spot on it is the engine deck. As you can see there, the corrugated area, that's where it's weakest. You can get shots into that, normally you can penetrate. But he's holding these guys back. And here comes an AMX-38. Now you should be able to easily penetrate this guy. And he's now got potentially a high caliber. Just keep pumping those rounds into these guys. And hold your hull in a way so it's actually front forward to the M1542. Ignore the AMX-38 for the moment because you're protected. And he's just bouncing rounds off you. And he's got the kill. Now you can deal with that AMX-38 just around the corner. Hello, you're facing the wrong way, but you're a bot and you do not know that you're doing that. The M5 Stuart's a real player and he's just made a huge mistake now because he's rushing in where fools fear to tread and he's out the game. So that's 4 kills now for Red Dog Alpha 1 and the AMX-38's only going to last 2 shots. And now he's gone. That's 5 kills. Now, he's got a Valentine here now. That's where he really will be needing the APCR. He actually loaded up a lot of it, and he's pumping rounds into that enemy Valentine. Of course, that's not the Valentine II. That is the standard British Valentine, the one we've got up here. Now, what the Russians did with their Valentines is they applied loads of applique armor to make these things even stronger. No, you've got it auto-aim on. You need to clear the obstruction. That's it. Now, just keep pumping rounds into his engine deck, and that will soon kill him. One more shot. And that is the Top Gun. Very nice indeed. Now, there's only 3 enemies left. One's down by the road, and 2 in the titty. Now the Carney's coming, or Keeney rather, is coming this way. He's auto-aiming on. Yeah, he's locked on. Now can he get this guy? Well, he's going to have to chase after him. He's actually a bit faster than we are. Maximum speed with this one is only 32 kilometers an hour, but I'm afraid this guy is a bot, and therefore he is going to get absolutely hammered. And oh, he's gone around the corner. We're going to have to chase him again. It's chasey, chasey, kissy, kissy time. And he's now punching holes in the rear as this guy runs away. One more shot. And he's got his 7th kill. Now, unfortunately, he can't get a Radley Waters in this tank because it's tier 3. Or tier 4, rather. So he's going to miss out on a Radley's. But at the very least, he's going to have a lot of fun out of this game and possibly end up with a lot of rewards. Have you noticed how many hit points he's got? Yep. Only 8. That's all he's got. All those shots he received, the enemy did fire a number of rounds at him, as you can see. And, well, he's down to his last few hit points. One more shot should see him out of the game, but he still wants one more kill, even if he's not going to get a Radley's for it. There's only one enemy left. It's the Shure MV7X. That's the Czech tank. You're heading in the wrong direction. You need to head over there. About turn. Come on, it's in the opposite way. I think he's just trying to stay alive. Oh, there's the Shure MV7X. He is behind us, but turn quickly, otherwise that guy's going to get a shot into us. Okay, he's not fired yet, but he's about to. And that guy is a real player. Okay, now he's turned. Okay. Oh, well, there you go. He survived as long as he could, but I don't think that Strodny Viz 39 is going to last very long because there's an awful lot of tanks who actually have more hit points than he does. So, yes. It might have actually helped him if he'd actually turned around and gone in the opposite direction, because I think he might have come across the Strodny Viz 39 before that guy was readily set up. These guys, well, some of them are bots, but most of them are not. That's a bot, and the bot's just died. And there's our enemy. Come on, guys. You can finish him off. Don't come at him one by one. Please, all come together. Well, that's a bot. And the bot just died. So what's happening now? We've got guys converging from all directions. And I think the Stug is about to catch up with the Strodny Viz 39. And this should be the end of the game coming up now. Yes! He derped him. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Red Dog Alpha 1 in the Valentine II. Not his first ace tanker, he's had them many times before. He's also got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, Fire Effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, Bruiser Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12 in this one. He got a cool headed for surviving more than 10 ricochets, non-penetrating shots in a row from the enemy. And, well, I think he got that one gifted to him by the M1542. Just couldn't penetrate his armor frontally. A high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. And he also got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he ended up with 7, which is 1 short of a Radley's. But unfortunately, at this tier, he can't get a Radley's because you can only get them above tier 5 and above. And he was tier 4 on this occasion. So there you go. Unfortunately, missed out on getting a medal that he couldn't get technically. But he did put up a very good performance because you can see the win 8 is 23,784. And yes, I know some people might say, well, they were bots and bots are bots and they're not very clever. Some of them are. In fact, there's many battles I've been in where bots have actually out-snookered me or caught me out. And they can actually be quite deadly because, of course, they switch to premium ammo straight away without any bother, and they don't worry about the cost. Whereas a lot of players will worry about using premium, except, of course, if you're Red Dog Alpha 1, because you use premium right from the start anyway. But there you go. We look at the team scores. We can actually see that there were 7 real players on either team. And the highest damage goes to Red Dog Alpha 1 with 2,792. Second highest damage was the Strodny Viz 39. Yeah, the tank that killed him. That was the second highest player. He got 2,227. So unless he killed every other player in the game, he couldn't have taken away the high caliber from Red Dog Alpha 1, but he would have needed to kill a lot more to get it. And he didn't on this occasion. And he didn't even get above a top gun. Top scorer was Red Dog Alpha 1, 7 kills. 5 kills went to the Strodny Viz 39. And we can see that 4 kills went to the Stug 3 Ausführung B, the one who killed the Strodny Viz 39 in the end. When it came to base XP, well, look at that. 1,877, a very high score for Red Dog Alpha 1. Well, the Valentine is not that easy to play, actually, because it doesn't have the same sort of penetration and damage rate as the standard Valentine, the British one. The Soviet version is a little more difficult to handle, even though it's got a higher caliber gun, because mainly it doesn't have the high velocity gun, which the British tanks do. This one has only got a shell velocity of 757 meters per second, whereas the British Valentines have actually, with their squeeze bore guns, the Johnson adapter at the end of the barrel, can actually go up to 1,200 meters per second by squeezing the round into a 30mm round from a 40mm slug. So yes, much more powerful and able to go through heavier armor as well. Second highest on base XP, funnily enough, was the tank who killed him. The Strodny Viz 39 got 702. And the third highest on base XP was the Matilda, who managed 554. He fired 72 rounds in that game, and it cost him 63 direct hits on the enemy, 58 penetrations, and 2,792 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. He received 38 hits from the enemy, but only 7 of them actually penetrated. 29 non-penetrations, and, well, the M1542 was one of those. The AMX-38 was another. They just couldn't get through the frontal armor. The frontal armor is very strong on these tanks, and it's designed that way to enable the troops to sit behind the thing whilst the tank walks towards the enemy. I say a walking tank. It's actually an infantry tank, technically. That is the technical word for it. But it basically walked at the same speed as the troops to give them protection. 1,445 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 7 killed, and 339 hit points of damage assistance. If he hadn't died at the end of the battle, he might have actually picked up a steel wall out of that game as well. Now, he did get a mission completion bonus, 65,000. That certainly helped because his ammo costs were quite high. He ended up with a profit on premium count of 87,491 credits. He also picked up 25 bonds for a mission achievement, and he also took away 4,223 experience points. So there's no shame in the fact that he went down to a real player at the end of the game. In fact, that Strodny Viz 39 was the enemy's best player. It just happens to be at the time that he had to deal with that guy. I'm afraid Red Dog Alpha 1 had lost a lot of hit points, and ideally he should have actually hidden behind the buildings rather than go hunting for the Strodny. He did actually turn around to try and get a shot, but the Strodny had already seen him, knew where he was, and just plunked one round into him, and that was the end of his game. But it was a good game nonetheless, even though there were bots in it, so well done to Red Dog Alpha 1. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.